Hello and good morning, students. Welcome to the 50th lecture in English grammar. In this lecture, we are going to introduce ourselves to yet another part of speech which I believe you learned earlier, probably in classes 5, 6, and 7 as well. So, in this class, standard 8, it is going to be a kind of reinforcement of the knowledge that we've taken earlier. Conjunctions, as you can see the name being displayed on the board, is the 13th chapter given to us in our text. Before we get into the details of what is being printed in the book and we read about it and acknowledge ourselves, let us just recall the prior knowledge what we have taken in class 7. To begin this, let us discuss the definition of a conjunction, what a conjunction is, by writing it on the board. So let me put up the definition of a conjunction. Conjunctions are words used to connect sentences, words, phrases, and clauses. Well, when you hear the words, phrases, and clauses, this might remind you of the last year's knowledge that you took in class 7. We discussed about phrases and clauses with regards to the coordinate and subordinate, or the coordinating and subordinating conjunctions. We make coordinate clause and subordinate clause. Well, this is the definition of a conjunction, and they are called connectors or linkers also. So let us put this on the board as well to remember. They are called connectors or linkers. They link the information between words, sentences, phrases, and clauses. Therefore, they are called linkers also. Well, we can say that conjunctions are of two types. Yes, you might recall this very well. They can be coordinating conjunctions and subordinating conjunctions. This is something that you've learned in the earlier class. I'm quite sure about that. To recall what is a coordinating conjunction, you have learned a mnemonic or an anagram earlier. I hope by saying this you must be recalling that. Still, if you are not having the knowledge or if you've forgotten, let me put this on the board too. How do you recall a coordinating conjunction or a set of coordinating conjunctions? Well, to remember coordinating conjunctions or the common coordinating conjunctions that we use, we simply need to remember an anagram that is created with the words fan boys. Yes, you might have recalled the moment I put this on the board. Fanboys. Each letter stands for one coordinating conjunction that you have learned earlier. So let us write the exact word. The words are for, standing with the letter F, beginning with the letter F, and, nor, but, or, yet, and finally so. So just by remembering an anagram fanboys, you acknowledge yourselves with all the 7 coordinating conjunctions. Well, this is a knowledge that you should be having. Still, if you do not know, you can now learn from this things going on the board. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so are the stipulated 7 coordinating conjunctions that we use to join two independent clauses. Yes, you might have learned this earlier. The independent clauses, they are used to join independent clauses. Similarly, they are used to join sentences, words, phrases and clauses. Now let's take an example to understand the concept of coordinating conjunction. This school is very good. And another sentence, the teachers are excellent. Okay, well, let's put these two sentences separately and then try to join them. This school is very good, a sentence, so it is an independent clause, a complete full sentence. The teachers are excellent. The teachers are excellent. Now when I want to put these two sentences together, I need to use a relevant and appropriate coordinating conjunction. So I will be making use of one of the appropriate words from this list of fanboys. Well, it's very simple. This school is very good. And in addition to that, I am saying that the so excellent. So I am just adding the word and. The teachers are excellent. So you see, by using the coordinating conjunction, I was able to join the two individual sentences or the two independent clauses into one. Now be careful when you write this. This is a very good, this school is very good and the teachers are excellent. You are supposed to eliminate the capitalization and turn it into a lowercase letter. Well, another example of the same type. Should I take the bus? Should I go by an auto rickshaw? So here a choice is being made. Let us write this sentence. Should I take a bus? One sentence. And yet another sentence. Should I go by an auto rickshaw? So here two questions being asked with the auxiliary verb should. Should I take a bus? Should I go by an auto rickshaw? When I want to join them, I will have to use coordinating conjunctions, one from the list that is on the alongside. So let us choose an appropriate one and join these two individual sentences. Should, you are asking a choice to someone. Should I take a bus? So when you want to make a choice, we'll be using the coordinating conjunction or, which allows us to make a choice. Should I take a bus or should I go by an auto rickshaw? So in this manner, the two different sentences that we questioned or two different statements that we had, we are combining into one by using a simple coordinating conjunction. This is the use of the coordinating conjunction or conjunctions in a sentence. This is an important part of speech. Well, moving ahead with the next thing that we need to understand is a simple exercise we take up on the basis of the things that we have just learned, that is the coordinating conjunction. Well, this is an additional exercise which I'm going to put up on the board for our practice as a kind of recapitulation before we get into the reading given to us or things given to us on page number 103. So let us do this small exercise for a short practice. Well, fill in the blanks with suitable conjunctions. The first one, Varun went to the bookshop dash bought pens. Varun went to the bookshop dash bought pens. Now if you have to choose an appropriate word or appropriate preposition from the fanboys, it will become very easy for you to choose. So Varun is going to the bookshop and he's doing yet another action over there, that is buying the pens. So out of the 7 coordinating conjunctions, the most suitable one would be the word and. So and bought pens. We will write down the conjunction and in order to satisfy the requirement of that sentence. Quickly we'll get on to the other sentences based on the coordinating conjunctions. So be very careful when you insert a coordinating conjunction. Have a proper attention about the sentences that you read and write. Is Mr. Kapoor at home dash is he at work? So a question is being asked. Is Mr. Kapoor at home dash is he at work? So here a question is being asked in a matter of choice. They want to know where Mr. Kapoor is in either of the places. Either he is at home, at work, but I need a word in order to join them, and that is a coordinating conjunction from the fanboys that I have learned. So the word would be or. Let us insert. Is Mr. Kapoor at home or is he at work? Well, this you might have performed a number of times earlier, but still it's a reinforcement of your learning of conjunctions. Let's take another sentence. Anjali was invited to the wedding dash did not attend it. Third one, Anjali was invited to the wedding dash did not or didn't attend it. So you see here what is being told to us in the sentence. The meaning of the sentence is also very important to decide what conjunction we are supposed to use. Anjali was invited to the wedding dash did not attend it. So we are trying to say a denial, a refusal over here. Although the invitation received by her, but she did not attend it. So see the word I used, but, which is the coordinating conjunction. But when you want to do something, when you want to say something contradict to what should have happened, we use the word but. But didn't attend it. But she didn't attend it. The next sentence, fourth one, keep the door closed dash, keep the door closed dash, the dog will run out. So here you are expressing the view to keep the door closed, else something is going to happen, that else the dog will run out. So in order to suit that expression of else, otherwise we are using a coordinating conjunction again, that is or. So let us write it down. Or the dog will run out. Else also can be written, but else is not a coordinating conjunction, and we are doing coordinating conjunction or suitable conjunction over here. Keep the door closed or the dog will run out. Well, moving ahead to the next one, number 5. Manoj liked the trousers a lot dash, he decided to buy them. Manoj liked the trousers a lot dash, he decided to buy them. Here what is happening? Manoj is liking the trouser, and therefore he is making up his mind, he is taking up a decision to buy them. So we are trying to express a decision making expression over here, therefore we'll have to choose an appropriate one over here to give a reason over here. Therefore he decided to buy it, but here we are inserting the and therefore we will be choosing the appropriate one, that is so he decided. So is as good as or equal to the word therefore, which is a subordinating conjunction. Manoj liked the trouser a lot, so he decided, hence he decided. So we are trying to express a reason over here, why he buy it, so he decided, and therefore hence. That's called the resultant. Okay, as a result what happened, he decided to buy it. Next one, it is very dark outside dash, she did not get scared. It is very dark outside dash, she didn't get scared. So here when things are joined, we use a coordinating conjunction. It is very dark outside. But can I use as a trial and error method for she didn't get scared or and she didn't get scared? No. Despite of being dark, a contradictory idea, an opposite idea is being expressed. She didn't get scared. So I can use the word but she didn't get scared. Or I can alternatively use the word yet she was not scared. Yet means despite of that, yet she didn't get scared, or but she didn't get scared. Either of the two can be inserted over here. Seventh one, I sat near the lake dash, admired its beauty. I sat near the lake dash, admired its beauty. So here in this sentence, someone sitting or I sitting near the lake and saying that I am admiring the beauty of the lake and admired its beauty. So I am doing a multiple action or two actions over here. One is coming and sitting near the lake, and second doing something in addition to that. Therefore I'll have to use nothing else but the appropriate coordinating conjunction, that is and admires beauty. Well, let's see the next one. Number 8. Sunil dash his brother have Sunil dash his brother has submitted the work. So here the sentence tells us that two people, Sunil and his brother. But what is the content given to us? Sunil dash his brother has submitted the work. So we are trying to say none of them have submitted the work. Nobody has given the work. They were supposed to submit some work, but they have not submitted that. So can we write Sunil and his brother has submitted the work? So we are trying to say a denial over here. Sunil and his brother has submitted the work. No, Sunil nor his brother. So we are trying to deny the fact that none of them have given the work. Hence we will appropriately use the word nor. Sunil nor his brother has submitted the work. None of them have been able to give the work on time. So this is how we've used almost all of these except one for. Let us take one last sentence about this one. He didn't attend the party dash he was ill. So we are trying to say one who was invited for the party but did not attend the party. We need to give a reason. So he didn't attend the party for he was ill, being ill. Therefore we will rightly use the word or the coordinating conjunction for he was ill. So you see, in this manner, in these 9 sentences we have used all the different coordinating conjunctions to acknowledge ourselves. So this is how we use the coordinating conjunctions to join sentences, words, phrases and clauses. Now let's get along on page number 103 given to us and read the content given to us over there in the you know section. Two simple sentences may be joined by the use of a coordinating conjunction. So two simple sentences, as we just learned in the definition, that coordinating conjunctions are used to join sentences, words, phrases and clauses. Two simple sentences may be joined together by the use of a coordinating conjunction. As you can see in the example given to you, God made the country, one sentence, man made the town, the other sentence. Now here two sentences are being joined with the help of a coordinating conjunction A and D and, because we are trying to say something in addition to that. God made the country and man made the town. Well, God only created the country and we made the town. So you can see appropriately a comma being used over there just before the conjunction which is necessary. When you join two independent clauses like this, you put a comma when you have another noun being displayed over there. He has plenty of money. He is not contented means happy. He is not happy. He has plenty of money, comma, yet he is not happy, or yet he is not contented. Now you see the word used yet. Why have we used that word yet over there? We are trying to express a contradictory idea, an opposite idea, that despite of having a lot of wealth, money, the person is not happy. So it is very important to understand a sentence before using a coordinating conjunction. What idea has been expressed in it? If the opposite idea has been expressed, then we need to wisely choose between the words beauty but and yt yet. Well, something that you find positive first and then you say it's a sort of negativity shown over there. Despite of having a lot of money, still the person is not happy. We make use of the word yt yet. The next sentence given to us, he is slow, he is steady. Now here two things showing opposite ideas but in the positive sense. He is slow, so we are saying someone who is having a slow pace, a slow speed, which actually represents a kind of negativity, because we expect things to be fast, we things to be very good pace. So here he is slow, he is steady. Two independent clauses. He is slow but he is steady. So we are expressing the negative and then we are pushing on towards the positivity, that is, no doubt he is slow but still he is showing a steady progress. So when you're trying to express such a thing, an opposite idea in the negative first and then the positive one, we tend to use, or we try to use the word, the coordinating conjunction beauty but, rather than using the word yet. So you can compare the previous sentence with this one, where we had he has plenty of money yet he is not contented, and the words he is slow but he is steady. So in one place we have used yet and in the other place we have used but, though both of them were expressing opposite ideas. So be careful when you use but and yet. Is he asleep? Is he awake? So two questions being asked over here. We want to join them because we are having an option, a choice over here, as we saw in the example sentences on the board. Is he asleep or awake? But be very observant over here. We have eliminated some repetitive words over here. That is he asleep, is he awake? Where the words is he, which were repeating twice in the two sentences, we have eliminated one set of words and not used the words is and he the second time, having joined it with the coordinating conjunction. Is he asleep or awake? Just the action word we have picked up and we have eliminated the words is and he. Moving ahead with the next example about joining sentences. It is raining, one sentence. I will take an umbrella with me. So two individual sentences trying to be joined by a conjunction. It is raining, so I will take an umbrella with me. So what is the word used over here? So, because it is a matter of result, a resultant, because it is raining. So I'm not using the word because the word because is not a coordinating conjunction. It is a subordinating conjunction, and we are talking about coordinating conjunctions and its uses with two independent clauses or sentences. So it is raining is one sentence. I will take an umbrella with me is the other sentence, now being joined by saying it is raining, so as a result, hence, therefore, I will take an umbrella with me. So we must use the word so over here rather than using any other inappropriate words. Well, moving ahead to the last example given to us. He could not attend the meeting, one sentence. He was making a conference call. So here a rightful reason is being given in the second part or the second sentence. So let's see what is happening over here by joining. He could not attend the meeting, reason being, and we're not saying hence over here, the reason being, for he was making a conference call. So here we have made use of the coordinating conjunction for in order to express a reason. Why? For he was making a conference call. So this is how we have joined the two given sentences with the help of the coordinating conjunction for. So go through it, observe it, take a moment. We've used the words and, yet, but, or, so and for in the given sentences to us. Let us now move ahead and read the next thing given to us. Some conjunctions are used in pairs, in combinations. Such conjunctions are called correlatives. I repeat, correlatives. correlative, correlative conjunctions, or merely they are called in one word as correlatives. Okay, when you apply the S, correlatives, you don't even have to say the word conjunction. So we can say it by two names, correlative conjunctions, or merely by saying correlatives, which means the use of a compound or a joint or using it in a pair. Let us see what they are and how they are used. You might have learned this earlier as well. The word both and. We make use of these two words where both and both are conjunctions. We make use of these two words as a pair. It means both these words are used in a single sentence. We both loved and honored him. So you see in this given example, we've made use of the word both and together as a combination, as a pair. We both loved and honored him. So the word both and have been used as a pair in a sentence in the given example. Another combination of conjunction, either or. Yes, you might have used this earlier also. Either or, neither nor in sentences. Either take it or leave it. So a very common statement people pass or use in day-to-day speech. Either take it or leave it. Sometimes when you go to the shop and you bargain for the things, the shopkeeper tells you either take it or leave it. I will not make any price reduction. So this is a very common phrase or a sentence used by people where the words either or are used as a pair word, as a pair conjunction, or I can say another word, correlatives. Neither nor. It is neither useful nor ornamental. Sometimes you happen to come across things which you find they are not useful and not ornamental also. So we make use of these two words, neither nor, in continuation in a progressive manner. Not only and but also. A big set of words. Not only but also. He was not only fined but also imprisoned. Something in addition to. So here we're talking about a person who has done something wrong and he has been fined. He has to pay a penalty. And not only penalty, but he was also imprisoned. He was also sent to jail. So for such sentences we use something in addition to by expressing a pair word, not only but also. He was not only fined but also imprisoned. He was not only deaf but also blind. So when you are trying to express something in addition to, we make use of this set of correlatives in order to express the idea vested inside the sentence. So this was all we learnt about the coordinating conjunctions. We will now read about the subordinating conjunctions. You've learned about subordinating conjunctions earlier in class 7 in your literature as well as grammar. Well, subordinating conjunctions is such words which try to link two clauses. It could be used in a compound sentence, it could be used in a complex sentence. Well, probably it's used in a complex sentence. Words like when, as, because, if, that, though, although, till, until, before, since, after, unless, where, while, as soon as, so that, and we could still add many more to this list. The list doesn't come to an end. Many more can be added to this list. Well, all such words display or give us an idea about subordinating conjunctions, which are basically used with complex sentences where you have a dependent clause and an independent clause to be joined together. Well, let us take an example to understand this better. Two simple sentences may be joined by using one of these subordinating conjunctions. As I just said, two individual sentences, so we can say they are two independent clauses or two simple sentences, what we call a compound sentence. Let us take an example. The teacher came into the classroom, one sentence, one simple basic sentence. All the boys were working. Another important simple basic sentence. Now, when you join these two, how are you going to join it? When the teacher came into the classroom, comma, all the boys were working. This has now transformed into a complex sentence where we have started using a subordinating conjunction when acts or plays the role of a subordinating conjunction, which now has joined the two different ideas into one, where you can find the words when the teacher came into the classroom as a dependent clause. These words require the assistance of the latter words or the remaining words over here. All the boys were working. The meaning is complete by itself. If you just try to recall the older knowledge that you've taken in class 7 about subordinate clauses and coordinate clauses, or the topic about compound and complex sentence, you will very well truly recover or recall that in complex sentences you learned about two different ways of writing the complex sentence, where you have got the dependent first and then the independent, or the independent first and then the dependent. Well, let us try it out with this one. When the teacher came into the classroom, all the boys were working, with the comma placed over there. Well, the same thing can be written the other way around as well. All the boys were working when the teacher came into the classroom, but while writing this sentence, we are going to eliminate the comma. We don't require. Why? Because we have the independent clause first, that is all the boys were working, followed by the words when the teacher came into the classroom, which now becomes the dependent clause, and the word when joining it as a subordinating conjunction. So well, with the help of these two examples, we learned what is a subordinating conjunction and how to use it to join two simple sentences. Well, moving along on page number 104 and reading about it, as you can see displayed on your screen. I found this purse. I was walking along the road. I found this purse while I was walking along the road. So see the word while, which is a subordinating conjunction, properly and wisely joining the two simple sentences. I found this purse, which is one simple sentence, one independent clause I can say, or the other one, I was walking along the road, another simple basic sentence where you can see no comma has been used. I found this purse while I was walking along the road. The same sentence can now be written the other way around while saying while I was walking along the road, comma, I found this purse, and a full stop. Well, so two ways of writing this complex sentence. One with the independent clause and then the dependent clause, or writing the independent first and then the dependent. Well, moving along with the next one. He failed in the examination. He did not work hard. He failed in the examination because he did not work hard. So you see, we have to rightfully and properly choose our subordinating conjunctions which match the expressed idea inside the sentence. So he failed the examination because he did not work hard. You will pass. Your working hard is a condition. See the sentence. You will pass. The second sentence, your working hard is a condition. So here the word condition itself has been used in the second sentence, second basic sentence, which gives us a great idea or a simple idea that we need to use a subordinating conjunction of condition which expresses condition. So well, we will not be able to use while or when something, but simply that recalls to our mind is the word if. You might have learned if condition earlier. So you will pass if you work hard. So this is how we can join the two sentences by using the subordinating conjunction if in order to join the two independent sentences or individual sentences. If you will pass if you work hard. The same thing can be written the other way around. If you work hard, comma, but be careful to apply the comma over here. If you work hard, comma, you will pass. This is also an example of a complex sentence. The next one, he works hard. His object is to pass the examination. So he works hard so that he may pass in the examination. See the modification being made over here in the sentence appropriately. He works hard. His objective is to pass the examination. But in the answer part, you see, he works hard so. Why is he working hard? So. We need to get a result over here, resultant, therefore. Or why. The question why can be asked over here. Why is he working hard? What is his objective? So that he wants to get through a result so that he may pass the examination. And the word you can say so that. The whole conjunction used over here is so that. Not just so, but so that. So don't get carried away with the word so and that. So is a coordinating conjunction and so that is a subordinating conjunction. So do not mix and match the two things. So that he may pass the examination. The next one, he is very old. He enjoys good health. Two simple basic sentences. He enjoys good health though he is very old. So here two different aspects are being expressed over here. He is very old is one thing. So if someone is old, naturally we understand that must be having bad health. But still, he is enjoying good health. Despite of being so old, having a big age, the person is having good health. So, he enjoys good health. You see the change that has happened over there. He enjoys good health. The second part of the sentence has been projected or used first. He enjoys good health though he is very old. Therefore, the word though has been introduced over here or used over here, which is a subordinating conjunction showing a contradictory thing over here. We have not used but over here because but is a coordinating conjunction, or we haven't used yet over here. So having a similar kind of an expression over here, but a subordinating conjunction. Though he is very old. So be very careful when you use subordinating conjunction. Mistakenly do not insert a coordinating over there. He enjoys good health though he is very old. The same thing can be written with the word although. Although he is very old, he enjoys good health. Can be accordingly written over there. Well, moving along with the next one. I will return. Do not go till then. So two different basic sentences. I will return. Do not go till then. See the answer given to you. Do not go until I return. The word until, which is a subordinating conjunction being used over there appropriately. Do not return, which was the second part or the second basic sentence, has now been written first, then followed by the word I will return or until I return. Have a look at the word. The word will has been now eliminated, has been removed. So do not go until I return. This is how you combine and write the sentence while using a subordinating conjunction. The next one. I had left home. Your letter arrived afterward. So what is the action happening over here? I had left home. So you have left home, you are no more at home, and then followed by your letter arrived afterwards. So the letter came later and you left the home first. So I had left home before your letter arrived. So you see the word before being used as a subordinating conjunction. You might have learned the word before as a preposition too, but here we are using it as a subordinating conjunction. So be very careful when you write the word before in a sentence for using it as a conjunction, a subordinating conjunction. I had left home before your letter arrived, and you happen to see the words given over there, had left home, which we can say it is a past perfect tense. So I had left home before your letter arrived. So one, you have got the past perfect, had left, and the subsequent action when you see over there before your letter arrived contains the simple past. Well, have a look at the next one. We arrived. She had left earlier. So we arrived is the first sentence and followed by the sentence he had left earlier. So we arrived after she had left. So here we are talking about our arrival and somebody leaving even before that. Therefore, we are using the subordinating conjunction after and not before. Therefore, he arrived. When did he arrive? When somebody had already left. So we'll have to use after she had left. So be careful while using the subordinating conjunction before and after accordingly in sentences. Do not get misguided by these two words. Moving along with the next one. I must believe it, one sentence. You say so. I must believe it. And now I am introducing an appropriate subordinating conjunction to show about timing. Since you say so. I must believe it since you say so. So the right word, the right subordinating conjunction to be used over here is since. Because you are saying so. Showing since as a reasoning word over here. Because you are saying, I am believing it. I must believe it because you say so. So the rightful word is since instead of writing because. Because the word since plays the role of a because or a reasoning over here. Next one. You must take your medicine. One thing. You will not get better. So here you are trying to express that having the medicine is very important. Otherwise, you will not get better or you will not improve your health. So, expressing the idea that till the time you don't have your medicines, you will not get better. We need to use and start the sentence with unless you take your medicines. Quite obvious, isn't it? Unless a person takes the medicine, he or she will not get well, he will not get better. So unless you take your medicine, comma, you will not get better. This is the idea expressed to join the two sentences. You must take your medicine, so you are making it compulsory or mandatory for someone to take medicine. You will not get better. So when you express the two ideas in a combined form, we make use of the subordinating conjunction unless. Unless you take your medicine, you will not get better. I missed the train. I walked fast. Two different ideas. I missed the train. I walked fast. I missed the train although I walked fast. So you see the word although used over here instead of the word though. Well, in addition to that, above and all, when you're expressing, we use the word although. Although the word although can be used in the beginning too. Although I walked fast, I missed the train can also be used but with a comma and as a complex sentence. Although I walked fast, comma, I missed the train can alternatively be written by changing its position, by taking the dependent clause first and then writing the independent clause, I missed the train. Well, two more to go. He saw the policeman coming. He immediately took to his heels. He immediately took to his heels means he escaped from there or started running. Well, to make the meaning clear. He saw the policeman coming, one action or one sentence. He immediately took to his heels. So here you can see two actions just happening simultaneously. So therefore we need to use an appropriate subordinating conjunction which could give or express a very appropriate idea being expressed in these two sentences. So the right word or the right subordinating conjunction is as soon as, without wasting time. As soon as he saw the policeman coming, comma, he took to his heels. This would be the most appropriate way of writing. And the use of the subordinating conjunction as soon as. As soon as he saw the policeman, the moment the person saw the policeman, he started escaping from there or took to his heels. Well, the last one. It is very simple, one simple sentence. Even a child can understand it. So here you can see the word very being now modified or simplified as the word so. It is so simple that even a child can understand it. So the word combination so that, which is a subordinating conjunction, has been used, but make an observation over there how it has been used by inserting the word simple in between so that. It is so simple that even a child can understand it. So I hope reading these sentences might have acknowledged you well about the use of coordinating as well as subordinating conjunctions. We come to the end of this lecture. In the upcoming lecture, we'll continue the topic. Till then, have a nice day. Goodbye and see you soon.